Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth and I'm back today to do some messages for, I'm going to say for October 2018, but really, I'm not really doing it specifically for any time frame in mind. And this is for all signs. And for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I do have a full-time job, so I do private readings part-time. If you would like a private reading, definitely reach out to me. You can check out my website, oracledaphne.com. You will need to send a payment first in order for me to respond and get you scheduled, but typically, I respond within 24 to 48 hours and can get people scheduled pretty easily. So definitely check that out. And then I am doing things differently. Again, like the videos that I had done regarding the messages, I am going to be reading from the Enchanted Map deck. Oracle cards deck. I typically, when I read, I like to use my own personal decks, and I don't really show the cards. I may show some cards, I may not. And this is for all signs, and this is for, again, no specific time frame. You could be watching this 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and it may still be applicable at that time. But I feel like I actually started to record another video for the Venus retrograde, and I feel like what's most important right now is me doing these messages. I feel like there's like this thing where it's just like, okay, I have to do these messages first, and I'm not sure why. I wasn't happy with the recording for the Venus retrograde. We are in Venus retrograde, and I still may do a separate video talking about that. To me, it's a time of really examining what we are bringing forth into a new cycle. So this is, people in our culture don't really like to release stuff, to let stuff go. I met many people actually who have a difficult time letting go of objects, difficult time letting go of personal belongings. And then one day, all of a sudden, they get rid of everything. And it kind of takes you by surprise when that happens. So it's just like, this is a time to really examine what you're bringing forth, but also during the winter, fall and winter months, this is a time to really examine very deeply what's most important to you and what's most important that you want to hang on to, what kind of beliefs that you want to bring forth, what kind of goals that you really want to reach. I think of this time actually more like, the new year. You know how we always make New Year's resolutions, towards the end of the year. This is the end of a cycle. To me, this is the end of the cycle. This is the end of, the beginning of, it's going to be the beginning of a new cycle, but it's the end, and it can be kind of a new beginning for some of you who have already released stuff and already let stuff go. It's a funny story regarding to Venus retrograde. I spilled salad dressing all over this quilt and on the back of my car seat, and that I keep there to protect the car seat in general, because I thought the quilt was pretty, but it was like a vintage quilt that I had gotten a long time ago, and I didn't really need it, and I decided, I couldn't just put the quilt, I didn't want it, the quilt smelled so bad. I was like, I'm not going to put the quilt in a bag and take it home and wash it. I'm just going to let it go. And I actually felt much better after I did that. It was really weird. So at this time, if something like that happens where you're just like ready to let go of something, let it go, and be done with it and move on from it. So that's what I wanted to say about that. But I definitely feel like releasing is challenging for people, and getting over past stuff is very challenging for people too. So, but the thing is like, there's time, there's time to do it. This is the time to do it, but there's time. Some people don't want to let go because they feel like it's a rush to make a decision, but like, it's not like, I don't feel like this time, Venus to me is a gentle planet. I mean, it's a sweet, loving planet. So it's not like there's this, pressure from the universe for you to make all these decisions right now. You don't have to, but it's important to take the time to examine things. And if something comes up like that, where you're like, okay, do I let go of this? Most likely, you'll feel better once you let go. That's what I want to say. So that said, let's pull some cards. Intention. Okay. This is a really awesome card. To me, there's a lot of different, I always get a lot of different things when I look at this card. And I never really noticed this before, but there's a field full of dandelions. So it's hard to see here. Dandelions in the background. And to me, dandelions are to me, talk about wishes. Hang on just one second. Sorry about that. My screen turned weird color. And it's funny because I was just talking about how, what is it that we want to bring forward into the new cycle? And some of you really need to re-examine your goals. To me, this is about making a positive intention to do something and then doing it. It's about resolutions and coming up with like a plan and making it happen. Some signs, especially I want to say Libra, okay, and Pisces too for that matter, and sometimes Gemini, have a difficult time with making a plan and then following through. Okay, there's something about needing to make a plan and follow through on what your plan is. Completing something. And because to me this is a time of completions, it's sort of like some of you need to revisit something that maybe you didn't do. Maybe something that it's like you started it maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, and it's like now you need to finish it. Some of you have already done so, but it just feels like there's a lot of, my guide said unfinished business. Okay, there's unfinished business for some of you. Now it's unfinished business regarding relationships, and some of you it's unfinished business regarding personal things that you need to do. You need to kind of just make the plan and do it and stop kind of hemming and hawing. To me, there's this hemming and hawing thing that's happening about getting it done. Like some of you are just like procrastinating or not really wanting to face completing something or not really wanting to finish something. This is a funny story. So my older brother and his best friend growing up, they wanted to build a go-kart. And the go-kart was never really finished. Okay, the go-kart, they used a ridiculous amount of duct tape and random pieces of stuff. And like they eventually got like it to work to some extent, but I mean it was ultimately a piece of shit. I'm not gonna lie. It was really just a piece of shit. And the thing is after they worked on it, I mean, they would get bored. Kids got bored, and it was something that wasn't finished, and they just didn't complete it. And I don't know. To me, Venus retrograde in Scorpio is all about the details, and Scorpios are the ones that have kind of like when they channel their desire, channel their drive, they'll but it's kind of like a whatever it takes kind of attitude to get something finished. Whereas like Pisces or like Taurus, they yawn, and they kind of get bored and they lose their focus and they won't finish. And then like Virgo, adheres to a very strict schedule. And so it's like, if it's a certain time, they're not gonna change their plans just to finish something. They'll do it the next day, because they're on such a tight schedule. So to me, there's just something about needing to finish something no matter what. Going back and looking at a project or something that maybe you wanted to do and getting it done and finishing it. I do feel like some people have been, I feel very strongly that some people have been in like long-term relationships and it's like you've wanted to leave for a long time. To me, it's like you've wanted to leave for a very long time and you just haven't made the plan to do it and you just haven't done it. And it's like, okay, that you need to do it now. It's like, there's nothing stopping you and you kind of have made excuses for a long time of why you haven't left. Some of you have left before too. I'm seeing that also. You're seeing, like, I'm seeing like someone who's left before in a relationship, and it's a cyclical pattern where it's like you leave and come back, or there's just a lot of fighting and making up. Some of you have a relationship that's, to me, it's all about fighting and making up. So I guess my suggestion is to really like get a clear picture of what you want to have happen in your life and in relationships, and then finish it and then do it. And don't stop for any reason. Like, let's just say your plan is like, I don't know, to go on vacation. Maybe you've always wanted to go on vacation, but for whatever reason you delay it, or you say, well, I don't have the money, or I can't do that. You're making excuses of why you haven't done something. And it's just like, now to me just feels like a time you need to do it. You just need to get it done. I am going to read from the book to see what else I can, what it says. To me, this is also a card about fertility too. This card really talks about fertility. Those of you who are trying to get pregnant or want to get pregnant, to me, this is like really being focused on getting pregnant, or getting pregnant unexpectedly. Some of you, this is unexpected, unplanned pregnancy. Yeah, it says, own the life you want to lead and live deliberately with clarity and detachment. And it's interesting because I was just talking about that, being clear about what is it that you want to have happen in your life, without distractions. Like, take a moment by yourself and say, okay, what is it that I really want to have happen? Because you have to own that. You have to own the fact that you are creating your own life. And something's not going to, like, some people will lament the fact that they don't have a better job, but they'll never bother to look for a new one. So you can't, and the thing is some people get stuck because they think they have to do it all themselves. And to me, this also talks about, you're not the only one who has to do all the work. So you can ask for help. You can ask others, hey, can you take a look at my resume? Or, hey, can you, give me a leg up? Or, hey, is somebody hiring? Or, hey, what do you think about this? It's not about doing it on your own per se. To me, this is about the egg, there's like an egg here, is about, to me, the chicken, and to me, the chickens, is about family and fertility and creation and nurturing something. And like the chicken lays on its eggs and nurtures it, so it takes a period. To me, it's going to take some time to see your ideas come to fruition. So say like right now, you're trying to start a new project, or you're embarking in a new career, or you want to get a new job, or something you want to have happen. It hasn't happened yet, but it's going to. To me, that's like the positive message from this card. To me, it is really positive, seeing the fruits of your labor, but not yet, like right now at this moment. You will see it later. And I'm getting a strong tingle on that. So some of you may also like have a job where it's like you're not seeing the results of your work, but it's going to come later, where you are, recognized for your hard work, or recognized for something that you've done. And some people crave recognition, but right now it's, to me, not a time of recognition. It's just a time of being clear about what you want, doing it, and then seeing the fruits of your labor later. Some of you do, like I did a video about regulating your cycle. You might want to check that out if you are trying to get pregnant and you are looking to boost fertility. I did a whole video about that, so definitely check that out. I will leave a link for it below. I definitely feel like someone has had fertility treatments. I definitely heard fertility treatments. Someone that's watching has had some fertility treatments, or there was issues around pregnancy, wanting to get pregnant. And again, some of you, it's just unexpected pregnancy. It's unexpected, like fertility. I am seeing that. Okay, so I'm going to pull another card. Ooh, I like this one. Okay, so you got the Magical Map Shifter. And this card to me is about having a lot of things in the air and getting a lot accomplished, actually. It's really interesting. It says, when the Magical Map Shifter card arrives, it comes with a mission to make you aware of the people who come into your life to impact your personal growth. Perhaps you may meet a soulmate whose presence invites you to be the best you that you can be, or someone who leads you out of difficulty and into a place of safety or success. Pay attention to those individuals who cross your path today and cause you to reflect on your journey. Be awake and aware, and you'll recognize them for the important change agents they are. Your whole perspective about who you are and why you're here will shift. The Magical Map Shifter always initiates you into a better version of yourself. It's so funny because I have a different perspective on this card. You know, tarot readers usually do have a different perspective on this card. First and foremost, some of you are going to take this reading of this card as if like I'm telling you that you're going to meet a soulmate in a romantic way and you're going to like fall in love and everything's going to be magical and perfect and amazing. And that may happen. I'm not saying it's not, but what I'm about to say is more about people being the change agents or people impacting you for a certain amount of soul growth. I also think some of it is, I don't think of it as like karmic per se. I think of it's more fate. But like, let's just say someone comes into your life at this time and, you know, they tell you something. And maybe it's just for, you know, you just bump into someone. And it's for like one day. You don't even get their number. You don't even really talk to them much. But like, it's like whatever they say to you is going to have an impact on you. So like, it's funny, I was just reconnecting after my phone. I don't know if I told you guys this, but my phone died. And I had to go back to using my old phone that I'd had for 10 years. Okay, I can't believe this. And I love my old phone. I love using it again. The funny thing is it's totally a Venus retrograde thing. I feel like it really is. But the funny thing is I went back through like my old address, you know, all the people that were in there. And I reached out to some people who I hadn't talked to in a long time and people that had impacted my life. And this is a time of like revisiting some of those people. But it's also like if you meet someone new, know that there's most likely some lesson to be learned and some growth for you to learn from it. And it's actually really positive because there are people that I have met that have really changed my life, and they haven't been necessarily romantic relationships. They've been friends. They've been people that have come in and I wasn't expecting them to be there for me, but they were. So I think of this, there's a lot of like talk about angels, but I definitely feel like this to me is like someone who comes into your life and they're like an angel for you. They're there to look out for you. They're there to help you grow, to see things differently. And it's funny, someone asked me recently what I was looking for in a relationship. And one of those was inspiration. And I want, you know, when I do get into a relationship, I want somebody to make me a better version of myself, to inspire me in some way, to be more than I already am. And I think that this is really, really cool. Like if somebody does come into your life, that's what they're going to do. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the relationship is going to be a long-term one or a short-term one. To me, this is very like, if you meet someone, what you're going to experience is some level of soul growth, which if it does last, is going to be really, really cool, really beautiful. It's going to make you feel different than you do right now, and it's going to give you a different perspective on yourself. Ultimately, relationships are all about learning more about yourself. So to me, this is more about a self journey. But my ultimate take on the Magical Map Shifter is that, you know, from the card, I see him juggling a lot of different things. And to me, this is like the Magician in like the regular tarot. To me, it's very much like the Magician. The Magician he's kind of blindfolded. You can see he's blindfolded there. He's not really, he doesn't have to look very hard at what's in his hands. He just knows like what comes next and how to mix things. Some of you may be kind of like, some of you may actually tend bar. This is going to sound really weird. Someone's a bartender or mix drinks or have an ability to mix different things. Some of you make a lot of, I don't know, I want to say the person who makes maybe like their own lotions or their own shampoo or like their own things where they blend different things together. To me, this is mixing different things together. I also see it as like I say he, but to me, I'm talking about the card. So it's like I see him as not really being worried about things moving, okay, or change. He's not worried about movement. He's not worried about change. He's not worried about dropping anything. To me, he's in a very good position to be kind of in control of what he's got going on. So to me, this is a really great card for those of you who really need to feel like you're really in control of your own ship, like who really want more control in your life and feel like everything is kind of running smoothly. And I definitely feel like it's, whatever you've got going, I definitely feel like there's a sense of flow or a sense of like you've got a real handle on what, is going on with you in your life going forward. And you're not stressed about it. He's not stressed about it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the positive aspects of this card is in this time period, you're not going to be maybe as stressed as you used to be about getting things done. I feel like things just may naturally happen. You may naturally be able to do things in kind of like a smooth way or be kind of like you have a sense of flow. And you may be doing a lot of things all at once and things are going really well. Some of you, it's like a time where you've got a lot going on, but it's like all your ducks are in a row. This does make me think of Capricorn. I do have a lot of Capricorn viewers. To me, there's like a strong element of wanting control, and Capricorn always kind of wants that kind of control. But the Capricorn, to me, it's like, when the Capricorn lines up its ducks, things just kind of happen really quickly and happen much more smoothly. It's like, so Capricorn can struggle for a long time and have a lot of obstacles, but they also kind of have like an ultimate goal or ultimate plan or ultimate like idea of how they want things to go and how the ducks need to line up in order to get there. But then all of a sudden one day it's like click, 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 all of the ducks line up for the Capricorn, and then all these things happen, and it's very fast. I definitely feel like there is a sense of speed here, things happening very quickly, and I'm getting a tingle on this. It's like, to me, it's like a lot of things happening fast, or in a sense of, but in a sense of chronological order, where it's like one thing happens after another, but it's a positive effect. To me, it's a positive domino effect rather than a negative one. So it's like things are happening, but it's like, some of you, it's like overnight success too. So to me, it feels like it could be for some of you a sense of like overnight success where things just lining up, whereas maybe you went through a period in your life where things weren't lining up, or like you had a lot of obstacles. But I don't know, I just keep hearing like a lot can happen in a short period of time. To me, it's like a lot happening. I just see, like, I look at him and I see all these elements, and there's a lot of different elements here that he's got going, a lot of different things. He's juggling love, he's juggling, his home life. And then there's all these different things in between. Some of you have kids, and some of you are juggling their schedule. To me, it is about schedules. To me, it's about, maybe switching schedules or adjusting your schedule, or to have a more sense of balance too. I do want to pull some other cards here before this video gets too long. It's so weird. Like, Okay, so this is... okay, the card in the upright here is called Details, Details. But if you can see, there's a magnifying glass and you can see it says Clarity right there. And I was just talking about clarity before with the other card. So I really want to look to see what it says in the reverse for this card. The last time I read it, I was reading in reverses. I really like this deck in reverses. The ones I pulled, I decided not to read in reverse, but... It says, heed the gentle warning that perfectionism will not lead you to what you desire, but instead will steer you away from it. Nothing will be good enough when you become obsessed with being perfect. No one can ever measure up to your scrutiny, and nothing that you can ever do will assuage that general feeling of not being up to par. You're perfect already, just as you are. It says, reverse the details card challenges you to accept things as they are in all their imperfections, to step into the world and engage it without any expectations. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. So, to me, that anytime the word expectations happens, it's a karmic thing. So some of you need to examine what your expectations are. Are you being unrealistic? Are you expecting someone or something or a situation to be different than it actually is? Because if that's the case, then it's a karmic lesson, and you will repeat the karmic lesson until you've learned to accept it actually as it is. So maybe it's a person who doesn't maybe love you or return the affection that you have for them. Or maybe it's a person who isn't really your type, but you kind of like are hoping that they're your type, or they're not, you know that the relationship isn't going to go forward, but maybe you're hoping for it to go forward. Or maybe you want to get married to a person, but it's like the person that you are hoping will marry you is like cheating on you with like 4 different people. To me, there's a reality check here. To me, it's about a reality check. Having clarity to see things as they are is the message. Having the clarity to know, okay, this is how things are going. This is how things are going to be. This is how things are. It's weird because I did a post on Instagram recently where I felt like I couldn't see anything. Like I could not see anything. I just felt like there was such a lack of clarity, and it was so hard to see what was going on. And I definitely feel like as we get farther into fall, where the earth starts to change and the days are shorter, we're going to need to make more time to be clear about things. We're going to need to spend more time about, thinking about, what is really going on? What is really happening? And I definitely feel like there's this thing right now about, and it's hard for me to explain it. There's this thing about the cell phone, going back to the cell phone, and I talked about the cell phones in one of my other videos about me thinking to myself, okay, what is it that we're all looking at? What is it that we're all trying to see by like constantly being on the cell phone, constantly looking at it? What is it that we're trying to see in ourselves? And it's like, I feel like there's a clarity thing that needs to happen where it's like, we're trying to examine ourselves. We're trying to really see something. And then also at the same time, what is it that we're distracted from? What is it that the universe doesn't want us to see? What is it in the outside, world are we really not seeing? And I think there's this thing that's happened where it's like there's a lot of confusion about, or feeling of being lost about, what is real and what is not? What has become our reality? And what are we going to do about it? That's a huge question at this time. Let me see what else I get. Oh, and the detail card to me is about text messages. It's about hearing back from someone, texting, talking. It's funny, I was just talking about cell phones. You know, the details, when I look at it, when I've seen it in readings, to me, it's about communication. It's about paying attention to stuff. Some of you are really over analyzing things. So I want to caution you to be, at this time, to be aware of what you're, you could be over analyzing. B, you could be missing something, you know, because you're so focused on something else. C, to me, you could be living in kind of like a fantasy reality where it's like, things are not really the way you see them. So it's a time to really examine it. And then also, again, you may be texting or talking to someone who does not have the same intentions as you do or doesn't want the same things. And to be careful about falling into the trap of thinking that you can control the situation or you can still get what you want when they have told you that they're not going to give that to you. So it's sort of like, to me, it's just something to pay attention to. There's a lot of things here that talk about paying attention to the details, and not getting caught up in sort of like this dream world. Okay, so I'm just going to pull some cards. It's funny because I definitely see like some of you having like a frustration around communication with someone. Like it's like you want to talk to someone, but maybe they don't want to talk to you. Maybe you don't have enough time to talk to someone. Maybe your schedules don't really match. To me, there's just a lot of frustration there. There's also something, I hate to say this, but I do see a death in the family for some of you. You know, that is coming up. Some of you, it has already passed. Some of you, it has yet to come to pass where there's a death in the family. It may, if there was a death in the family, it may have caused some problems within the family. To me, this could be communication with the family being challenging or communication with someone, you know, not really being on the same page as someone too. I feel like you're going to move on from that if that's happened. Into a time where you do have more peace, but I definitely feel like some of you, it's like you're trying to have some peace or you're trying to like get to like, yeah, like a place of peace or a place of like chill in your head, but it's like there's a lot of things that are kind of chasing you. Maybe your past kind of chased you a little bit. Maybe you're a little bit haunted by maybe something that had happened. It could be a relationship that you had, could be experiences that you had. To me, this is also like debt collectors. You know, some of you, it's bankruptcy that had happened in the past and you're not over that yet. I definitely see like something major happening and you needing to travel for it. Some of you, it's like some unexpected thing and where it's like you have to go somewhere because something happened. This is not for everyone. This is just for some of you. To me, this does feel like very family related though. So it could be something going on, something that had happened in the family. Again, you could be like, say someone could pass away and you may need to go there you may want to go there to be with your family. I definitely feel like this time there's something about needing to retreat or needing to take a rest or needing to like get over being not well. To me, there's someone around you that isn't well. To me, there's something about hospitalization as well. Some of you need to really watch. To me, this is like mental health stuff. To me, there's just like a huge focus on mental health right now, which is interesting. My guide is showing me, you know, not that very long ago, some celebrities who had passed away. And to me, this is like a mental health awareness thing. You know, some of you need to reach out to others, make sure you're doing what you need to for as far as mental health, as far as talking to you know, a psychologist, as far as, you know, talk therapy. I mean, I definitely recommend talk therapy. Going to and talking to someone for like an hour and like getting things out. It's important. Some of you may be visiting someone in the hospital, but I definitely feel like there's this element of like, you know, wanting to retreat. being very drained. Maybe some of you did recently spend time in a hospital and your energies are really low. Some of you do work in a hospital as well. I do see a doctor, nurse, somebody who's in the hospital a lot. Maybe you just had like, a lot of stress lately, and it's just like, to me, maybe you're not well also. You maybe work around people who are not well. To me, there's a lot of sick, like I'm seeing sick people. So like it could be just people who have colds and flus and stuff like that, or like you're working like around people who are not well, who are sick. Do I feel like you are going to get sick? I don't like to say like yes or no to that, because then it just puts it in your head that that's going to happen. I don't want that. I just feel like all I'm going to say about it is I definitely feel like there is a cloud that kind of is hanging over your head a little bit, and you need to work on being healthy, work on staying well, keeping up with your, building up and boosting up your immune system. If you do work around sick kids or sick people, or if you're in a hospital type situation, you definitely need to, recharge your batteries, because I definitely feel like there's something about that. Now, if your kids are sick, then that's another thing too, that can cause stress too at this time. And this is the fall. So, a lot of people get sick at this time, which is not unusual, but it's interesting that I'm seeing that. Some of you, I feel like you're kind of just like mentally hanging on by a thread, or your willpower is just very low. Like I feel like there's something about being whittled down here, where it's just like you're just not, how do I say this? My guide said you're just not feeling like things are going your way, but I also feel like you're not in the right frame of mind, and everything is weakened. I feel like the word is weakened. So your physical body is weakened, or your immune system's weakened, or your willpower is weakened. You could have been whittled down by life in some, it's just, some of you. I definitely feel like there is help available to you. I definitely see that. I definitely feel like there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening where definitely you need to retreat, you need to go on vacation, you need to chill out. For others, there's another whole like 3 cards in a row that talk about romance, which is interesting. A lot of people watch horoscopes to find out like what's going to happen with their love life and romance. And it definitely feels like there's some series of romance happening for a lot of you. And it's really going to, I want to say, melt your heart. It's going to be really good for your heart chakra, and it's going to be really good for you it will be really good for you to get back into a relationship. I feel like the person that you are going to get into either a relationship or start dating has a very positive effect. It's going to have a very positive effect on you. They also, to me, have a very healthy foundation of like either savings or a stable job, or there's some element of stability there, which is also going to like help you in some way have a positive flow of money yourself. Either you're going to get married to this person and there's going to be a sense of real abundance there, or for whatever reason they're going to help you maybe build a business, or the two. To me, there's like something about a strong element of romance but it's also, there's something about positive financial result from this relationship. And it could be like, become business partners. Some of you are already business partners, like with a spouse. I definitely see that. But to me, I'm talking about like people like who are not necessarily in a relationship, getting into a relationship where there's a positive romantic vibes, but also like a healthy financial flow. Some of you are going to be really examining the path that you're on. The path that you're on is going to become like really important to you. Trying to figure out what's next, what you want. Going back to the intentions card. It's really interesting. And to me, there's something about needing to take the high road, being the bigger person. I feel like some of you are going to either get out of Dodge or get out of a situation that's unhealthy. I definitely see that. But to me, it's very positive as far as like you coming to a place of like, okay, this is the road that I've been on, and this is not the road that I want to be on. I want to be on a different road, and you deciding, okay, this is what I really want, and doing it. I definitely see that. Some of you are going to be working a lot. I feel like your work life or your hours are going to change. There's going to be, to me, like a lot more hours that you're either putting in, either because you've gotten a second job, or some of you are looking for a second job, or to me, it's like you putting in extra hours. Some of you are going to be working like 60 hours a week. To me, it seems like that's what I'm seeing. To me, it's like some of you, your life has become work, and or that's either what you do or that's what you're going to be doing. I also see some of you needing to or examining your sexuality, and you're going to be really exploring, I want to say gender titles, not gender titles. That's not what I want to say. You're exploring, well, maybe it is gender titles, but to me it's more sexuality. Some of you are going to be like either coming out to your friends or coming out to your family, or to me there's something about, you know, those of you guys who are watching, really examining, okay, like, you know, do you want to identify as being gay or not? And some of you are already gay. Some of you are, when I say already, you've already come out to your family. Some of you are gay and you're watching this, or some of you have, like, maybe it's a family member who is gay, or somebody close to you. And it's sort of like, for those of you who are gay, I feel like there's a partner that you want to get back with. There's something about wanting to get back with an ex, for those of you who are gay. And some of you, like, going back to the whole coming out thing, I feel like there's a lot of titles about, like, okay, are you queer, are you bi, or whatever. And I feel like you're kind of going to be exploring that, and trying to figure out, okay, well, where do you fit? I always see, you know, this whole topic as being very like, you know, everyone to me is bisexual. And so no one has to really, you know, label themselves as one thing or another. They can just kind of be, and they can just sort of accept themselves for being that way, whichever they want. People who want to label, you know, find a label for themselves, that's fine too. But I just feel like it's most important for you, if you're watching, you're trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to identify as? Give yourself a break and say, okay, you know, you are what you are, and explore it from that place of a real self-acceptance. Okay, you are just what you are, and that's it, you know, and see what comes, you know, from that. Okay, and then lastly, I want to pull a couple final things here, and just to see. Some of you who are looking for a new job, I definitely see a new job happening for you. There's something about being friends first. To me, there's an element about friendship here. Like, some of you are going to get into a relationship with a friend, or you have the hots maybe for a friend. There's another thing about, to me, it's like a power couple. Like, some of you are going to be in like a power couple kind of relationship. To me, it's very much like you may have a thing for your boss, or you also may have a thing for someone who you go to school with. But yeah, there's an element of like, to me, it's a very strong couple. Some of you may be talking to your parents too, because to me, there's the thing about a couple that have been together for a long time. I definitely feel like there is something about someone who's like going to be checking you out and or entering into your life that may come as a surprise to you. Those of you who are in a relationship, I definitely feel like there's some element of maybe being frustrated. Going back to this thing about frustration, there may be some frustration with a partner or with relationships at this time. There's a lot of stress around it. Some of you, it's stress around money. Going back to the friendship element, some of you may have lost a friend or something, like maybe you're afraid of losing a friendship. To me, there's something about friendship here too. There's a lot, to me, this is a real mixed bag as far as so much going on in this reading. So I don't want to get too far into it. The last card that I pulled is the Two of Cups, which I like to see at some point. So I kind of just feel like some of you are just making your way through life, and if you're not in a relationship, the relationship's going to come. It's going to come either as a surprise, or it's going to come from a friendship, or it's going to come from something, and it's going to come in time. And then others, there's just a lot of life stuff going on right now. It's a lot of life stuff, and you figuring out what is it what's most important to you to going forward in your future. Like, what does your future look like? And is it going to be, for some of you, to me, there's like this real imbalance. I see like a lot of love cards like all at once, and then like a lot of real cards about stressful things happening like all at once. So to me, it feels really unbalanced. It feels like some of you are too heavily focused on romance, and some of you are too heavily focused on either your family or family stuff, or too heavily focused on your career. And it's like, that's for some of you, you're working so much, there's no time to have a love life. So that's what I'm seeing here. If you would like to get a private reading, definitely let me know. I wish you guys all the best. Thank you guys so much. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Special thanks to Jeff in the UK, as always, for being so supportive of me and my channel and my readings, and for everyone else who's supported me along the way. So thank you guys, and I will be back again for more. All right, take care. All the best. Bye.